Are we recording? Oh, I don't know if we're recording. Sorry guys. How to grow your Instagram clientele. So not necessarily like just your followers, but like how to turn those followers into people that will eventually be clients. How do I do this? You think I would know how? About to stop. Whoa. Okay. So that's my cover page. So from growing your Instagram, it has to start with you. So you have to start with you growing you before you can grow and have people attract to you. So it all goes back to your niches. So on your Instagram, you're not necessarily going to be posting fitness stuff, but you're going to be posting things that you like what makes you you? What do you like? What do you not like? What products do you use that you really like that, you wish somebody would have told you about, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, or something that somebody would have told you, 5 years ago when you were doing X, things like when you were 20, what was something that somebody should have told you then that you wish somebody had told you, but nobody told you. So maybe that would be like a really helpful post for somebody who's younger than you, but they would find value in that. Like, what do you like to do with your free time? What brands do you like? What brands do you not like? What's your occupation? Quirky little things like that. Share those things because they might not be valuable, but if you have followers, those followers are going to start to catch on to those little things that you post about. You might think they're really, really insignificant, but because you continually post, you're connecting on different levels. So you're not necessarily connecting on, I didn't like this drink, but they're going to note in the back of their head, like, oh, I didn't like that drink either, and I like Lily Pulitzer, and I like fitness, and I kind of want to get healthy. So they're going to note each one of those things in their head, and it's basically building trust without you even having a conversation with them because you've now established that you guys have the same interests and you have the same kind of mindset on things. So that gives you a way to connect with them without even not communicating, because you're obviously communicating via Instagram, but without even having a one-on-one conversations. And some people will be like, thank you so much for sharing this. I've been really interested in trying it, but it's a little above my price point. I'm glad somebody said something about it. For instance, I shared a drink that was $3 and that was really high. And a lot of people messaged me and were like, thank you for sharing this. And I had like an actual honest opinion about it because everybody that I see in the health and fitness world, they rave about it, but I didn't want to spend the $3 and I really wanted to know an honest opinion. And I trust you because I see a lot of your other posts. And so now I know, it is a valid opinionated post that isn't just fancy. It's not like glamored, and it's the raw, honest truth about something that you have tried. And so you might not want to post all the time, but that's really, really important. So you want to post 3 to 5 times a day, if not more. And I'm not saying post like big things. I'm talking about just things that you do during the day, things that you see that you like, or things that you think are funny and you think that, that nobody else would think is funny. You are going to lose followers, and it's so hard at the beginning because you're going to lose followers because people are going to think, number one, you're annoying because you post so much, and number two, they don't care to see everything, and that's fine. Those people are fine because they're not your people. They're not the people that you want to attract. They're not, they're not your loyal lifers or whatever they're called. They're not the ones that you want, but you are going to gain people because people are going to come back to your page and they're going to be eager for when you're posting. They're going to be people that have your push notifications on for when you do post. And when you start to see those people, don't be afraid to reach out to them. Be like, thanks for the love on my post. Like, I love, seeing that you like it all the time, and make that connection with them because obviously something that you're doing, they're connecting with, or something that they can relate to, and they like that. So you're going to gain followers that way. Then even more so, the more active you are on Instagram, so whether it be through posting, whether it be through commenting on other people's things, whether it be, I know for a fact that if you tag not high-end, but high-following brands in your post, the traction that you get is higher than if you weren't to tag them in it. So if you were to tag like Nike in your post, because Nike has such a high following, your post is going to be pushed up on the explore page. And so you want to post often because the more often an engagement you have on a post, the more it pops up on the explore page. So you want to comment back on everybody that's commented on your post. You want to do the opinion questions. You want to ask questions for people to answer on you, because if you have 52 comments on a post but only 13 likes, that doesn't matter, because it's every time somebody comments on it, it bumps it back up to the top of the Explore page. And so that then people that are on the Explore page scrolling through it see it more often. So you can have people that look at it. The impressions is how many people have looked at it. And that's what you want. You want new people to look at it. You want people that aren't on your following list to look at things, because that's the potential for you to have new clients and new people that follow you. And I know a lot of people, when they post, I really hope this is recording. A lot of people, oh, it is. A lot of people, when they, oh, did I do it? Crap. When they're posting, they think, oh my God, I have to post. I don't know what to post. I don't know how to post. I don't know what the caption should be. Don't overthink it. When you overthink it, it comes out through your text. So if you're just like just posting a quote or posting, you know, a throwback, like when I don't have anything to post, I'll post a throwback from a time that a lot of my followers didn't know me. It doesn't have to be a transformation, but maybe a time when I was like 19 or 20 and people are like, wow, that was you back then. And it takes them back to like getting to know you, because they know you right now. They see you every day now, but they don't know you when you were 16, 17, 19. They don't know you back then, and they think that they can connect because they think that they've known you a lot longer because they've seen that stuff. So post throwbacks, post quotes, post all kinds of things. It doesn't necessarily be about you. But having that constant engagement and constant being on their newsfeed and constantly seeing them, or having them constantly see you, really, really affects your following. And people want to see you. If you go MIA for a long time, people are like, well, not gonna, you know, whatever, bye. They get excited to see what you're posting, and they get interested in see what you're doing with your life. And people are really nosy. They want to know what you're doing. So just post some random stuff. I don't know. So then it goes down to what to post. So you want to make sure that your photos are really crisp. If they're not crisp, people are going to be like, well, skip through that. If they're fuzzy and dark and out of focus and not appealing, people are like, done. Use apps. There's a bunch of apps. Afterlight, Real Bokeh is really awesome, but I don't suggest using it a lot because it's really overwhelming to the eye. Word Swag, all those kind of things. You can clarify the color. You can add things to it. You can, you know, do all kinds of stuff with it. I highly suggest making your photos really, number one, crisp, and number two, very vibrant. Because the more vibrant they are, the more appealing they are to the eye. And it doesn't necessarily have to be anything important, but people like those crisp and colorful photos because the eye just attracts to them. So I know a lot of people have like an upline, like a really high upline that they really, really enjoy watching, or they really enjoy following their journey, and they like are inspired by them, and they want to, you know, have their success, and they want to post like them. But make your account you. You don't want to be somebody else. You don't want to post the exact same thing as somebody else. You don't want to, you know, basically you don't want to duplicate their account because they have that following. You don't want the same following as them, because then you'd be the same target market. You want to post stuff that makes you unique to you. And then if you have, you know, you want to change it up. You don't want your entire account to be workout selfies, because that's boring. Nobody, you know, unless it's like a fitness account, nobody's, you know, everybody's gonna be like, okay, bye. Like, I want to see other things in your life besides fitness. So switch it up. I say like 20% of your account, if you have a regular account, like that's included your everyday life plus fitness, post 20% fitness. And I know a lot of people that I've talked to recently say, I didn't have the money for a program for a long time, but because you posted workout videos, I was kind of able to follow along, and that got me tiptoeing into my fitness journey. And I didn't know that for a long time, so I stopped posting them because I thought they were annoying. And when I did stop posting them, I got feedback from people saying that, and so I think that's a really helpful thing. Plus, it helps you because it keeps you accountable. You're posting publicly about it, and number two, you're helping that market to tiptoe into their fitness journey, even if they weren't like really into fitness. Some people will just like want to do a little bit of a workout, and they can, you know, duplicate what you're doing. If you don't look at your insights and find out like when your target or when your followers are most looking at your post, the overall social media marketing like institution or whatever they're called says that Sundays is the highest traffic day for social media. In my social media marketing class this week, I heard that Saturday night at 9 p.m. is actually the new time because people are at bars and they're on their phones and they don't want to communicate with other people. So if you're afraid to post on the weekends, Saturday night is the time to post. And it's time, no, I want to say two things. So time to post, not your call to action. I would wait till Sundays for those because nobody's going to buy a challenge pack on Saturday night. But Saturday night is the time to open that can of worms for them, to figure out if this is the right time for them. So maybe, post a transformation that day and then do a call to action post on Sunday. For me personally, my biggest traffic day from looking at my insights is Monday night. I don't know why, but I think it's different for everybody. So you have to look at your insights to know when specifically to post for your target market because everybody is different. And if you don't have a business account on Instagram, the insights are really phenomenal and they're really, really strong to work with. I didn't know I could do that. Adding value to people, that is the number one reason you're posting on Instagram. And Instagram is my shit. I love it. But you need to add value to your followers. If you're not adding value to your followers, you're doing them a disservice because number one, they're not going to want to be your client if you're not adding value to their life because you haven't given them anything for free yet. And if you haven't given them anything for free yet, they're going to be like, nope, not doing this. I can go to somebody else who's offering me a $10 gift card. So if you haven't offered, a free group or an opinion or, some kind of review of a product or some kind of way to build their trust up, then you've already kind of chopped your foot off for that thing. So you need to do things that really help build that strong bond and retention span of having those people be your lifers. Because if they're not your lifers, then there's just not that bond because you can't go back and Instagram has a profile and you can look at their pictures, but there's no way to look at their relationship status and where they're from and, all those kind of things like Facebook has. So you have to kind of build a external relationship before you can build an internal relationship. And I know that's really hard and it takes a long time. But if you're continuously doing these things every day, part of the 4 vital behaviors, it'll become really simple. And when you do those call to action posts, which I'm about to talk about in 2 seconds, it'll be so easy because you've already built that trust within them because you've added value to their lives. Boop. I've already talked about this on the last team call. Being a product of the product, if you're not doing the 4 vital behaviors, then you've shot yourself in the other foot. You need to be a client before you're a coach. If you're not doing a workout, if you're not drinking your shake, I don't say post your Shakeology on your Instagram every day because that's just repetitive and kind of annoying. But I do want you to post about it. I want you to post about it in your Instagram story. I want people to know that you're doing it because if they don't see you doing it, then they're going to be like, if she's not doing it and she's a coach, I don't need to do it. And so if you're not working out and people don't see you working out, they don't know that it's a part of your life, they're going to be like, I'm not going to listen to this person. They don't know what they're doing if they're not doing it themselves. I think that's all it says. So, and again, you won't get clients and then you won't get customers and then you won't get, So be a product of the product. There's another call about that if you want. Recently I discovered sponsored posts and promotions. So this costs money. You basically have a Instagram post with a caption and at the bottom of the post it says, there's call to action buttons. One says sign up, call me, email me, contact me. One of those buttons, you can pick which one. And then you can link it to your Wufoo form, or you can link it to your Facebook or whatever you want to link it to, which basically gives you a way to target new clients. So you can set a budget. I never set it over $10 because I'm just starting out and just kind of tiptoeing my way into it. But I found last month or this month, it was really successful. So you can set your target market to specific demographics. You can set it to age, gender, key hashtags that they use, keywords that they use in their posts. You can do it, people who haven't liked your photos, people, friends of friends who are following you, friends of your followers' friends that aren't following you, but they're on their friends list. You can target to them. I highly recommend setting it to an area, because if you set it to like everywhere in the world, it's going to give you people that are outside of the United States and outside of Canada. And not to be mean, but we can't benefit from people outside of the United States and outside of Canada because we don't sell to outside of Canada and outside of the United States right now. So you don't want to waste your promotion dollars on that. Not being mean, it's just being honest. And then if they fill out the Wufoo form, and then you're wasting your time filling out or responding to an email of somebody who can't buy your product. So it's a waste. The use of hashtags is really important. I've slacked on it and I need to really get back to it, but it's so crucial in ways to find new clients. So you want them to be relevant to you, but not so much relevant that like it's going to be, how do I do this? So I'm not going to shame on you, Cindy, but it like makes me cringe when you do it. So you don't want to hashtag Beachbody, because when you hashtag Beachbody, it's people who are either using Beachbody products already, or they're already Beachbody coaches, or they're already, they already have it, so they don't need it. So they're not going to be, so you want to do things like, I don't know, health improvement, happier me, things like that still pertain to what you're trying to get at, but not directly on top of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I would do happier me, because that's like, people might search that. I forget, just kind of things that pertain to you, or maybe even not right now pertain to you, but like in the future. Like Sammy could be mommy to be. So she's not that right now, but she wants those people that are in that same boat with her. And I guess the coach and Beachbody coach, it's like, that's kind of like their own subgroup, because that's like a specific thing. So like, it's just like its own little thing. I did it when I first started. My coach was like, dude, you're just going to attract Beachbody coaches. Like, you don't want those.
Yeah, I realized that. I'm like, why am I getting all these coaches following me?
Yeah, that's the way I was. I was like, what do you mean? I'm a Beachbody coach. I want to tag that. So you're going to you don't want to attract people that already have things that you have. So like, you don't want to do like fitness. You want to do like, I don't know, happy fit. I don't know. Like I do T1D fitness because I want diabetics that are fit. And so they might already be fit, but I can offer them Shakeology, which would benefit their blood sugar. So I have something that they don't have.
Yeah.
So you have to find creative hashtags and using them and like searching them individually. Like I used to search hashtags individually and see what would come up. And so you want to use ones that are not necessarily, you want to use one that's really, really popular because it puts you in that group. And it's like the most dominant one, because like if people are looking at celiac disease, that's a really popular one, especially when people are first diagnosed. So people search that one. So you want to pop up when they search that, especially if you have a lot of likes, because then you're going to be at the top. But you also want to do like what celiacs eat. That hashtag doesn't have a lot of love, but it's a very common one for like the close knit group of people that have celiac. So you have to play with them and see like what's actually works for you, what doesn't work for you. And you can look at your insights to figure that out. So using a Wufoo app, that is like, why do I keep doing that? That is like the number one thing that I found is like so successful with Instagram. Before I used the Wufoo app, I really just used like the DM feature. And I found that was really annoying because number one, you can't really get a lot of personal information from somebody off their Instagram. Like some people don't use their full name. Some people don't even have their name on their Instagram. There's no way to like track them down. There's no way to like really contact them. So you want to have a Wufoo app set up and put it in your link, your website link on your Instagram. And these these statements are basically pulled off of my Wufoo app. So you're going to want to make them very detailed. So you want to make them detailed and open-ended because number one, that makes them jump through a little bit more of a hoop. So you're not just getting a bunch of useless people that aren't really that intrigued in joining you. It kind of makes them like actually take the time and complete these questions and make sure that they're serious about this, because you don't want like 50 emails in your inbox and only one of them really be like actually serious and committed and ready to do this. When you make them open-ended, like you can say, what are your health goals, short-term, long-term, what are they? When you do that already, you're skipping a step in the email process. You don't have to email them back and say, what are your health goals? I know you answered you wanted to get healthier, but can you give me more detail? Because then that's an extra step you have to take, and you don't want to do that. If you can do it initially, then you don't have to do it. And make sure that the contact information is there. I've now switched it to, I don't have their phone number. I have their first and last name and their email and their Instagram account, because I found that phone number wasn't really important. And if the email didn't work for whatever reason, it would have rejected, then it was really easy for me to contact them via Instagram, because they are really responsive. And when they signed up, the recognition aspect of the 4 vital behaviors was so key to recognizing them that they did make that commitment to themselves, that it incentivized everybody else, because they thought the spots were so limited and that time was like crunching and they needed to do this. So it kind of tied back together. So first name, last name, email, and Instagram name. And I always say, are you following me? And if they're not, I'm like, follow me. So number 1, if they don't buy a challenge pack, they see my call to action next time. And number 2, I can stay in contact with them. So let's see. I don't know what time it is, but this is like really long. So this is what I did the last 5 days or whatever. So when you get a response from a Wufoo app, you want to first thank them for taking time out of their day, because they have just as busy schedules as everybody else, and they've taken this time to respond to you. They don't know you personally. They don't know your history. They don't know your family. They don't know anything about you besides what they see on Instagram, but they've taken this leap of faith to be like, yeah, I'm going to work with her, or I want to work with her. And so my Wufoo app says, like, what are your short-term, long-term goals? Are you a type 1 diabetic? Do you use a pump? Do you use a CGM? Do you have any food allergies, prior injuries, anything like that? So you want to ask more questions. So this is basically you responding to their email. So you first thank them, and then you respond to the email with more questions about what they had answered in their initial email. So you say, okay, you want to lose 10 pounds. Do you have a date by when you want to lose this? What have you tried a nutrition plan before? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? I don't know. Ask more questions about what they've answered in the initial Wufoo app. So for my app, my third question down is, are you a type 1? Do you use a CGM? Do you use a pump? My next question is, cool, what brand? And then I can relate it back to me, so then we have another bond is, I use a Tandem pump and a Dexcom G5. What do you use? So then a lot of people, will respond with, I use the same pump. Oh my gosh. So then it's another connection. And you can change that question to what applies to you. For Sammy and Kelly, or Crystal, I don't know if she's on anymore. Are you a mom? How many kids do you have? And then you can say, oh man, I got a lot more to go. You could say, oh, I have 2 kids too, and I'm expecting one. And, you can relate on that level, and you can connect and say, I don't have all this time. The workouts are 30 minutes, blah, blah, blah. So you can change that question, but it's another connecting point that you can talk to them about. And I know like kids are like sensitive, but you can change it to whatever. So more about emails. Okay, so I'm so bad. I have a generic response for after that. So my generic response, I already told you this, guys. Okay, cool. So I ask about their current situation. What is their fitness level? And then I relate it back to their prior injuries. If they don't have any prior injuries, great. If they don't have any history with working with fitness and they're just they don't have anything, I say, great. 21 Day Fix is a drop set program, so you can start at any level, so they don't feel intimidated that they are not equipped to do this. I said there's modifiers in all of our programs. It's really great. I started with 3s and 5s when I did this program, so you can start with anything, so you don't have to feel intimidating. And then I talk about the challenge group and the aspects of, what you do in the challenge group, and the aspects of coaching, and if they have food allergies, how we can modify the meal plan for their food allergies. And I explain the meal plan a little bit more. And then as you're doing this, you're dropping a little bit of knowledge about the program as you're doing it. So you're not dropping it all in one little paragraph. You're dropping it in and basically what you're doing with forming, you're dropping it in as little subcategories. I got ahead of myself there. Okay. So you want to basically be like up their butt. So you want to be like, thank you so much. I'm so excited to hear from you. Like, I can't wait back to hear from you. I'm excited about this. Like I'll drop like a little line that says like, hope you have good blood sugar today or something quirky. And then you can ask them, I always like end the conversation with, I love to get to know my clients a little more. Can you tell me a little bit more about yourself? Because the initial application really isn't about themselves that much, more so it's about their fitness journey. So I say, what does your family life look like? Are you married? Do you have kids? Do you have a husband or, any like that? What do you do for a job? What do you do for school? What do you like to do outside of work or school? What are you interested in? And then finish the email with a happy note, like looking forward to hearing back from you. Hope you have happy blood sugars or whatever. But I do want to jump back real quick. So this is all great for people that have diabetes that had answered this question. Yes, if there's an option that says, no, I don't have type 1 diabetes. At the beginning of the thing, I said, that's great. You don't have type 1 diabetes. You don't have to deal with the struggle. That's literally what I say. And I say, that's fantastic. Okay, hold on, back up. So if they do answer yes, I say, great, what kind of pump and blah, blah, blah. And then I say, I have a whole team of coaches and challengers in my group that can help you and mentor you through this program. So that gives them the sense that they're not the only one in this group that's going to be struggling through this. And that just gives them the sense of community that there are other type 1s in this group. If they answer no, I say, great, you don't have to deal with the struggle. What drew you to my application? And they'll tell you things that we connect on. A lot of them say Lily. A lot of them say, I see your dogs. All different kinds of things. And it brings you back to things that you can connect on later. So that's just, I don't know. So when they do respond back, don't get so excited and just like blow their notes off. You do want to read their notes and jot down what they're saying. If they do have an allergy or prior injury, you do want to note that. If they have an injury, ask, if there is any limitations to what they can and can't do, because some injuries you can't do things. I had a girl in a wheelchair message me 2 days ago, and she wanted to do it, but I told her, I showed her the video. I said, you can do it, but there's only so much you can do because a lot of the workouts are they're leg workouts. And she said, okay, I'm going to have to think about it. $160 is a lot for just arm workouts for me. But she was super excited about it. What the heck? Guys, I'm going to get cut off. What the heck? Why is it not working? What the heck? Oh, okay. I'm gonna get cut off. I have 5 minutes. What? Oh, I guess I didn't finish my slides. Let's see. Okay, here's my little cheat sheet right here. Okay, so this is what I say. So basically, if they've answered all my questions and they said, I'm really committed to this, what's next? How much does it cost? A lot of the questions from the get-go is how much does this cost? And so I leave that question on the back burner before I have to get to know them before I do that. I want to know what their goals are, because if their goals aren't really set goals, I'm like, this isn't for you. Like, I don't want to use a spot if you're not committed yet. Like, I don't tell them that, but I'm just in my back of my head, I'm like, no, not yet. If I think they're committed, I say, great, I think this would be a great opportunity for you. I'd love to have you join us for the next group. Then I go into, what do I say? I love reading your backstory and everything you shared with me. I know how difficult it can be to eating when the options are, this is pertaining to the girl. We can work on it together, blah, blah, blah. Again, I pertain this back to the program. I said, I know how difficult it can be to get to a gym. Our workouts are at home and you can do them in your room or wherever. If you have enough room to do jumping jacks. So you're not necessarily dropping this information bomb about the program. You're dropping kind of tidbits of it, but throughout a whole conversation. And I tell them a little bit more about the program, and I say, we're offering this thing where it's all access, blah, blah, blah. And I say what's included in the package and the all access, and then I give them a third-party tool, because then I get tired of talking. This is a long email. I mean, this thing's from here to here. That's a pretty long email for somebody. And I don't mind sending out long emails because, number one, it deters the people that aren't ready. If they're not ready, they're going to be like, oh, that's a long email. I'm not responding to that. That's a lot of questions. And that's fine. We don't want those. So that's a third-party tool. It's Carl talking about pizza. It's a really good tool. It does say that in that video, the challenge pack is $199. If it's on sale, you need to make a note at the bottom of it saying, the challenge pack's not $199. It's on sale this month. It's $160. Say we host the challenge groups in an exclusive My Challenger app where you can log your workouts, blah, blah, blah. And at the bottom, make sure you do this. Say, I just gave you a ton of information, and I know that. And you say, if you have any questions, please let me know. Please, like exclamation point. And then at the bottom, you say, if you're sold, what did I say? Really works. If you're sold already, I can send you an order email or send you an order link, but I want to make sure I get all your questions and concerns answered. So it's not about the sale at that point. It's about making sure that they're comfortable with their decision. And I want to say I sent out 100 emails and I got 20 some back and said yes. And this works. And so then you have two options at that point. If you do that, you say, once they're sold. Then you need to get Shakeology flavors. So you say, of course I can do that for you. I can send you an order email or I can send you an order link. I definitely recommend the order link because it's a lot easier than having to enter their information and yada, yada, yada. And then once they order, make sure that you send them an email. I know you're like, oh my God, Success Club, yes! But you need to make sure to send them a congratulations email. We're so excited. Tell them what's next. You should be receiving your package in a week. This is what you'll be getting in your package. I'll be sending you an invite to our exclusive group. Please make sure to fill out your profile and then do the recognition. Make sure that they're recognized on social media because then people are going to be like, ooh, they're doing it. They're doing it. I want in on that. And people will start coming and you say, what are you doing? What is this thing you're doing? And you can say, fill out the link in my bio, and they will do it because they're intrigued. They're having that FOMO effect. Oh, look, there's one. So that's what I did and killed it. That's all. Dropping the mic. Any questions? I can stop sharing my screen now. Stop sharing. Anybody?
No, that's all awesome. I took lots of notes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was really awesome. Like, I'm gonna go back and like rewatch that whole thing again. So, yeah. I think that was like one of the best trainings I've watched in a long time. So
no, like it's all like when I first did this, I was like responding back to every single email, and I realized it wasn't a waste of my time. I mean, it was a waste of my time, and I realized that I wasn't doing like anybody a disservice by making this thing because I was still making sure to answer everybody's questions.